Hey guys, I just thought I'd share a few tips of things that I did yesterday to get my car working well. Um, it was not working so well in the morning. I thought it was a grip related thing, just waiting for the grip to come up and then everything will get better. But that didn't happen. In the first qualifier, I was still struggling. Uh, even in this and in the second one a bit as well too. Um, So I just wasn't feeling comfortable with the car. The rear end was breaking loose. Didn't have enough rear grip. Just wasn't comfortable. Let off the throttle and it would just get unsettled, like at the end of the straight. Coming onto the straight, I'm trying to pull the throttle, and it was like I had to really feather it. Otherwise, it could break loose. It would oversteer. It would just kind of do. Mostly, would oversteer. I guess. One thing I'd realized was I had built a new diff for the rear because I broke the other one, and after years of service, and I put back in there what I had thought I had in the previous one, which I did have in the previous one, which was 20K. So I put 20K back in this one, but what I didn't take into account was that the 20K in the previous one had mostly leaked out, so it's probably acting more like 8 or 7K or maybe 10, maybe. And after thinking about it for a little bit, I was like, I bet that's my problem. So I swapped it. I took this apart and put 10K back in it, cleaned it out with Worth brake cleaner, I think it was, and or Worth cleaner or whatever, and then and put 10K back in it. And on my diff analyzer, which hopefully you guys know what these are. This is that Sky RC diff analyzer. You don't need to get one of these if you don't want, but if you want to try mine and just see where your diff is at, that's fine as well. But they're pretty cheap on eBay and stuff, or maybe other dealers in town. I don't know. But on my diff analyzer, I'm at about 350. And what I do is I just hold the spur. So I just hold the spur while I'm doing this. And it goes to about, you probably can't see it, I don't know. Not the best angle here. Maybe you can see that. It goes to about 350-ish. Where before I was over 600. It was like 650 or something like that. So that made a pretty big difference for me. The other things I did that for my setup, I think that are pretty important that I wanted to share was my routine is I grab a new set of rear tires every one of our F1 FRC FIA races. They don't take long to break in. Honestly, you can either just grab some Worth cleaner, and a lot of you guys know this already because I've been sharing it, but I just grab one of these Brillo pads, whatever you get it, steal it from the kitchen sink, Scotch pad. Put a little bit of the Worth cleaner on it. This stuff, just spray it on it, and then just for 10 seconds or so, don't even try and get it hot or anything like that. That just gets any oils or anything off of it. And then they're ready to go. Like, you can pretty much sauce them and go run. At least that's been my experience. And then the other thing I did that helped me, I was oversteering with my previous set of tires, and every time, so you come into a corner, and rather than a nice smooth, not scrubbing off speed, you would oversteer. You'd just like beep, you'd hear the chatter, and it would just go beep, like that. The first thing I do when I'm experiencing that is I check the tires, and even after only 1 or 2 runs, I'll check the tires, and I'll notice that even if they're coming off just a tiny bit of the rim, it'll make a difference. I notice that I'm oversteering, even when they're coming off just a little bit of the rim. Then I grab one of these, and I just put some CA glue in it, and I buy a whole bunch of these off of Amazon or something like that, so I can just replace the tip. I think if you heat it up with a lighter, which I should try, you can make the tip last longer, but I just replace the tip over and over again because they're so cheap. And I just put do this and then hold it back and then put the glue in there. and spray it if you want, or let it sit with accelerator. But that makes a big difference. And then the one other thing that I did, and I think this maybe had to do with the temperature change, I'm not exactly sure, but I did go from 150 in the side dampeners things. And again, this is a different setup than if you have like an X-ray or something like that. But I went up 25K. I went from 150 to 175 of the Accelerate dampener grease, and sold out of most of it yesterday, but I placed a decent order to restock in case you need some of that. That made a difference. It just held the corner. It leveled it out a little bit more. So if you think about coming into a corner, if your weight shifts too quickly side to side, come into a corner, and if your weight shifts too quick, it could break the rear tires loose and then cause that oversteer. Where if you slow it down a little bit more, it'll hold that rear grip, keep the car flatter and a little more stable. But if you have too much, if it's too thick, then it just slows you down and you understeer. So yeah, other than that, those were kind of the big things that I was thinking would be good to share. My ride height, I'm right at about 4.2 in the rear and 4.0 in the front. I have pretty minimal droop, like almost no droop. You can see like my tires pretty much just come up as soon as I start pulling. So no droop in the front pretty much, and I have about, in the rear, I would say I'm about a little less than 1. Well, no, I'd say I'm about a mil in the rear. So yeah, those are kind of the basics. Got pretty soft springs. Actually, I think I'm at, if you have a CRC car, I actually use the kit plates, so I'm at 4 degrees caster, 1 camber. And then I'm pretty sure I'm using the kit springs all the way around. I don't think I changed them out. So Daniel's going to try. It'll be interesting. I think on Thursday he's going to try doing the spring. Because with this car you can move the springs from here back to here. He's going to try that and see what happens, see if he likes it. I might give that a whirl too. It sounds like a fun thing to see what happens. So yeah, I don't know. Those are the basics. Hopefully this helps some guys out, and it made a big difference for me, making the car easier to drive, and that's what it's all about in F1, keeping it easy so you can push it. If it's too on edge and too twitchy and you feel like you're not comfortable with it, that's not a good spot to be in. So let me know if you got any questions. Thanks guys. See ya. Thanks everyone. Hey, thank you for coming out yesterday too. That was super fun. I'm still recovering. I think I'm gonna go take a nap. It was a blast though. All right, see ya.